A 400-word election address doesn't really convey adequately, as far as I'm concerned, all the things I want to put across to members as to why I'm standing for the position of Deputy Group Secretary. It's a big job and there's a lot of aspects to it. And in this short clip, I just want to put forward some of the things that I want to try and do if I'm elected to the role. I'm clear that the role of DGS, one of the key roles, is pay. The DGS is the key pay negotiator. Members will recognise with some of the announcements that have been made recently on regional pay, the current pay freeze, that there are going to be some real challenges going forward. I'm clear that I've got a clear strategy for trying to address those issues. I'm not saying I can solve everything overnight, but I think I can make some positive progress for members in HMRC. One of my key priorities is to get a level playing field for members in HMRC when compared to other departments who currently still get pay progression, whereas we don't. Grading is another key issue. I recognise the concern, especially in my office here in Euston Tower and elsewhere, on the issue of grading. I work alongside a lot of AA colleagues who complain that there's very little AA work to do, and they believe that they're forced to reach up, as they call it, and do work of a higher grade. It's important to recognise this problem didn't arise overnight, but I believe that we can solve it and make some positive changes to actually solve it. And what we have to try and do is actually go through and have proper JEGS evaluations right across the department. I believe that prioritisation, probably without doubt, is the biggest challenge that we are facing in HMRC or any other department in the civil service. The government's agenda is clear. Basically open up the public service to far higher private sector involvement. I've been criticised in some quarters for my handling of the debt collection agency issue when I was DGS for DMB. One of the things people should bear in mind is that all the way along that issue, the Group Executive Committee, all of them were fully updated and they all agreed the approach that I put forward. The reason why it's important to say that, because some of the people that are criticising me now were GEC members at the time when we were taking decisions on that particular issue. But prioritisation is a difficult one. And one of the things that's interesting, and which is why we have to do political work in my opinion, is that a lot of the drivers behind prioritisation don't come from HMRC management, they come from outside stakeholders, people like National Audit Office, people like select committees. So there are challenges here, but I believe that the way we handled the debt collection agency issue, although it wasn't perfect, I think it protected members in DMB. One of the things that DMB management said to us at the time is that although they recognised members were concerned, their view was, and they stated this publicly, is that no member in DMB should be worried about their job security by this initiative. And the reality is, up until now, no member in DMB I can identify has lost a job or had faced an office closure as a direct result of the trial. And I'm glad that the GEC have now agreed to ballot members across the department on taking industrial action on prioritisation. I've never believed that it's right to leave to business stream members on their own to fight these issues. I recognise that as a GEC member, and I have been for 4.5 years as Group Secretary, I was in a privileged position. I met with senior management, I discussed many things on behalf of members, but often members didn't know the detail of what I was discussing and what potentially I was agreeing with management. I think we've lost something there. Those of you who've been around for a while might have heard the term Whitley. And what Whitley said basically is that when trade union reps meet with senior officials formally to discuss issues, the notes of those meetings should be available to all members of staff. And I believe that's something we should try and bring back. We never actually officially agreed to get rid of Whitley, but to all intents and purposes it has been got rid of. I think that's a mistake actually. I think we need to look at some of the things from our past and try to resurrect some of those things that actually were good for members and actually try to bring those back into being. Lastly, a bit of political background about myself. I'm a socialist, and the reason why I say that is not to try and convert people, but people need to realise that people have things that guide them, and socialism is what guides me, so I think you're entitled to know that before you cast your vote in this election. I'm also a member of the National Executive Committee and a member of Left Unity, and one of the criticisms that have been put to me recently is that as an NEC member, I work full-time for the National Union. Not actually true. The most I actually get for doing National Executive Committee work is 40 days a year. That works out at less than a day a week. The remaining time, at the moment, I'm actually working in the official job for HMRC. The last message I want to put across to you is it's really important that you do take part in these elections, whether you vote for. I think it's important that the leaders who are actually going to be leading the union within HMRC have the best possible mandate going forward. So my message to you is, whoever you vote for, please vote in these elections. Thank you.